Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Pokemon Go video. In this video, we're going to be going over whether or not it is actually worth it to purify a shadow Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Now, as always, before we go ahead and get started, if you guys do enjoy this video, feel free to hit that like button down below. I'd really appreciate it. And if you guys are new to the channel and would like to see more Pokemon Go content like this, feel free to hit that subscribe button as well. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Now, at first glance, it might seem like a very simple answer, right? Is it worth it to purify a shadow Pokemon in Pokemon Go? Yes or no? But it's actually a little bit more complicated than that, and we're going to be diving into exactly why that is. So first of all, let's go ahead and cover the benefits of actually purifying a Pokemon. The first one being, you actually get a 20% less reduction on stardust when actually powering up that Pokemon. Additionally, you also get a 10% reduction on the candy amount required to power up that Pokemon as well. So that is kind of a nice benefit right there. And you can actually stack this with a lucky Pokemon. So if you are trading purified Pokemon, they do have the ability to go lucky. So that's going to be a nice benefit right there, because that's going to give you a total amount of a 55% reduction on stardust when you combine the 20% less stardust initially plus the 50% stardust reduction that you get from the lucky Pokemon. So that's actually pretty nice, guys. It's definitely a little bit more of a bonus there. And now one of the really cool benefits that you actually get from purifying a Pokemon is that all of the base stat IVs are going to go up by 2 each. Now this is 100% guaranteed. It is always going to happen when you purify a Pokemon. So this is actually a really good thing for hundo hunters, because let's say you get a Pokemon that's like maybe 13, 14, 13, right? If you purify a Pokemon, it'll go up a maximum of 2 IVs each. So you'll actually get that 13 all the way to 15, and the 14 will just go to 15 because it's not going to go higher than 15. But essentially, it is a great way to actually get a 100% IV Pokemon. Now, I am actually going to cover this a little bit more in detail in a future video, so if you guys are interested in the 100% IV Pokemon hunting, definitely make sure to stay tuned for that. It's actually a pretty good strategy, and I definitely think it's going to help you guys out a lot. Anyways, though, those are some of the benefits that you can actually get from purifying a Pokemon. Now, this is great, right? This is actually pretty nice benefits here and there. It's going to cost you about 2,000 Stardust plus 2 Candy if it is in its base stage. So, for example, if you have a Charmander that's a Shadow Pokemon, it's going to cost you about 2,000 Stardust and 2 Candy. Now, this is going to vary depending on the Pokemon as well as on the stage that it's in. So, for example, an Ivysaur is going to require a little bit more, and the same thing goes for Venusaur. Now, if you have like a Snorlax, for example, that's also going to be a little bit different. It's going to cost you a little bit more to actually purify that Pokemon. So it does actually tend to vary depending on the Pokemon that you do have. Now, there was one more thing I forgot to go over, and that's going to be the discounted rate for the second charge move unlock. Similar to powering up a Pokemon, it's going to be a 20% reduction in Stardust. So of course, that's going to be a nice little benefit right there as well. But outside of that, guys, that's pretty much everything you need to know as far as purifying a Pokemon goes. Those are going to be your main benefits. They also get exclusive moves, but the exclusive moves aren't really that good. It's going to be Return and Frustration. Frustration, obviously, for the Shadow Pokemon, and then Return for the Purified Pokemon. They don't really have any benefits, though, so, I mean, you might as well just TM it later on. Now, with that being said, you know, is it worth it to purify a Pokemon? And here's where it kind of gets a little bit iffy. I would say yes if we actually had better Pokemon to purify. As of right now, with the current Pokemon released as Shadow Pokemon, we don't really have anything good. The only two that are really worth it, in my opinion, I would have to say are going to be the Dratini family and Snorlax. Everything else really isn't worth it. And for those of you guys who don't know what's actually in-game, I will have something posted on screen right now that goes over everything that is available at the moment. Now, of course, this is going to change in the future. There's tons of Shadow Pokemon and Purified Pokemon in the game code, but as of right now, the only ones that are in-game are going to be the Bulbasaur family, the Charmander family, the Squirtle family, the Rattata family, the Zubat family, Snorlax, the Dratini family, and the Mudkip family. And that's about everything that we have right now. So mostly starters and basic Pokemon. Like I said, I'm pretty sure just Snorlax and Dratini are going to be the ones that you kind of want to focus on. And I haven't actually seen anybody post a Shadow Dratini on Twitter or anything like that. So I can't even really confirm it. It's probably extremely rare. I'm sure it's out there. I've seen a Shadow Snorlax. I know that one's actually a pretty good one to purify, given the amount of reductions you can get. In the future, though, when we get more Shadow Pokemon in-game, there are going to be a variety of them that probably are worth purifying because they do have the meta-relevant movesets. A lot of these Pokemon, for example, like we just had Mudkip Community Day, so it's a little bit too late on that one, because maybe if we had the Shadow Mudkip and then we purified it, right, we'd have a better chance of getting good IVs, and then we could also get it with the exclusive exclusive moveset on a Swampert for Hydro Cannon. Now there is a possibility that we could get a group community day similar to last year, sort of like an all-star community day, and then it is worth it to actually hold on to those Mudkips because, you know, if we can actually evolve them and get the exclusive move during December, it is definitely going to be worth holding on to them. So I definitely would hold on to as many Good IV Mudkips, Purified or Shadow versions as you possibly can, and just kind of keep them until we get to December. And if we do get that, you know, bonus community day again, that'll be a good time to actually go ahead and evolve them to get the exclusive move. Everything else though, it's kind of past its term. So, you know, the original Kanto starters, we're probably not going to get the exclusive moves on those guys again. So when we look at that, I would have to say that it's definitely not worth it to purify your Pokemon yet. However, there is actually still a benefit on why you do want to actually purify your Pokemon. Now when you finish battling a Team Rocket Grunt, you actually go through an encounter screen. Now from this encounter screen, you actually get Premier Balls to catch the Shadow Pokemon. Now this is going to work similar to Raids, where you do get various bonuses. You know, how many Pokemon did you have left in your team when you beat the Team Rocket Grunt? That's going to give you bonus balls. And then it's also going to give you bonus balls for the metal type that you actually have on the Purifier and the Hero. So for example, if you purify a bunch of Pokemon, I'm not entirely sure what the numbers are, I should have them on screen for the Bronze, Silver, and Gold. Depending on the number that you have, you're going to get bonus Premier Balls. And so if you have a really, really rare Shadow Pokemon, you're going to want to have as many Premier Balls as possible. As most of us know from Raids, it's not the funnest time when we only have a couple of Premier Balls to catch the Pokemon. So similarly, it's going to be the same in this situation as well. You just want to make sure that you give yourself the most amount that you possibly can. So when we look at it from a Premier Ball standpoint, naturally you're going to want to have as many as you possibly can get. Therefore, purifying more Pokemon is going to get your badge higher on the Purifier medal, and it's ultimately going to give you more Premier Balls. And the same goes for the Hero medal. The more Team Rocket Grunts you battle and beat, the higher that medal is going to get. Naturally, you're going to want to get each of them to about Silver. Gold is going to take a very, very long time, but Silver should definitely be doable, and that's going to give you a couple extra Premier Balls to catch that Shadow Pokemon, which is definitely going to help a lot of you guys out. But if you guys are having trouble catching these Pokemon, maybe they're attacking too much, maybe you're throwing at the wrong time, I highly recommend checking out my Circle Lock method video to increase your accuracy on these throws. You can actually land a throw 100% of the time if you use this method. I'll go ahead and leave a link in the top right corner right now, and then I'll also leave a link in the description below. Definitely recommend checking out that video if you guys do not know how to use that trick. It helps out so much. Now I go back to the original question that I asked at the start of the video. Is it worth it to purify a Shadow Pokemon in Pokemon Go? And the answer is yes, it is. The main reason you want to purify a Shadow Pokemon in Pokemon Go is to increase the number on your Purifier medal. Now right now it's not going to matter that much, but if you do get that medal up, what that is going to do for you in the future is it is going to give you more Premier Balls when we actually get way better Shadow Pokemon. As of right now, we don't have the best Shadow Pokemon in Pokemon Go, but that's going to change in the future. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but in the future, guys, we're going to get better Pokemon. And when we do get those better Pokemon, you want to be getting the maximum amount of Premier Balls from those Team Rocket battles. Therefore, going to give you more chances to actually catch that Shadow Pokemon, and you never know how the difficulty is going to be. If we do get legendary Shadow Pokemon, it's going to be really difficult to catch them, and if you only have like 4 Premier Balls from that encounter because you decided not to purify Pokemon early on, that's going to hurt you, and it's going to take time to build that up. But as of right now, you can go through and you can purify like all the base stage Pokemon. It's not going to cost you that much Stardust, and it's just going to help increase that medal count, and you know, that's going to really benefit you in the long run. But of course, if you're still not interested, if it's not really worth it to you, you don't have to do this. That is just my recommendation. Also, when you do get those Shadow Pokemon, I do highly recommend trading them, and I'm going to go into that in the next video a little bit more in detail, but make sure that you're always trading your Shadow Pokemon before you purify them. It is really going to benefit you, and I will explain that, guys, in the next video why that's going to help you out so much. Anyways, though, that is going to be my conclusion for this video, guys. I definitely do believe that you should be purifying those Shadow Pokemon. It is not going to benefit you as of right now, but it is definitely going to benefit you long term in the future. So with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this video and found it helpful. If you did, feel free to hit that like button down below. As always, I'd really appreciate it. And if you guys do want to see more Pokemon Go content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well for future videos. And I will see you all real soon in the next one.